Now, my guests, Jumaane Williams, New York City councilman, and also Steve Rogers, retired detective lieutenant of the Nutley Police in New Jersey. Jumaane, what was your assessment of what we heard from the governor? We heard nothing about the shooting, and this is the first time that we've heard from him since the shooting of Mr. Scott. He basically said, this is not who Charlotte is. We will get through this. Your take?
Well, I think I'm getting tired of hearing people saying this is not who we are, because apparently it is. And so we've seen this happening over and over. And we probably should begin to deal with it. And one of the issues that I have, particularly like people talk about stop, question, frisk and all those issues, they mentioned that the community was crying out. They also cry out for a lot of other things that people don't seem to hear, from jobs to housing. And what I like to liken it to is, if you go to a hospital, you will go to triage and they will treat the acute problems. But you have to have a solution for the chronic problems. We keep trying to solve chronic problems with acute solutions. And we keep seeing this over and over. So policing is one of the needed partners, but it is an acute solution. We have chronic problems, and until we get real with those chronic problems and get solutions that are meant for that, we're going to continue to see this.
The chronic problems you're talking about are economic inequality, lack of jobs, opportunity. That you're pointing to really big picture. Really
big picture, because those communities have been starved of these for decades. and so you see the combination of the lack of housing, lack of access to education, lack of jobs. So those things aren't sent. The only thing that's sent, if anything, any resource, are policing. It's unfair, actually, to the police officer they're sending, who can't solve all these issues.
And by the way, you're not saying that that's an excuse for the looting and the vandalism we saw last night.
No, I'm not. Absolutely.
You're saying you won't solve that without bigger picture.
That's absolutely correct.
Detective, to you.
Is absolutely right. The problem is not the people in the community. The problem is not the police, but it is the politicians who, for year after year after year, have promised these people who are living in these big problem issue areas everything under the sun, and has delivered nothing. It's not a Democratic problem. It's not a Republican problem. It's an American problem. And until leadership on both sides step up and give the police the tools they need to help the community, and the things that the community needs to help themselves, jobs, education, good schools, we're not going to find ourselves.
So it makes you wonder, look, you both agree on this, it makes you wonder, what is it going to take for those politicians, for the American public as a whole, to come together to solve these issues for people who have less, and for people who have less opportunity, and to give them a better shot at upward mobility? Was it Ferguson? No. Was it Baltimore? No. Was it Milwaukee? No. Was it Charlotte? What is it going to take?
Really
How
want
many
the
cities?
Well, the problem is in the
But
face of. Sure.
I'm going to give you the answer straight.
How many cities is it going to take?
I'll tell you what it's going to take. A complete cleaning out of career politicians. A complete cleaning out of them. Politicians get very, very comfortable. I don't know you, so this has nothing against you.
I'm an elected official.
You're a nice guy. But politicians have this obsessiveness with the power, and they forget the people, and they look for their own survival and not the survival of the people. So my recommendation would be directly term limits for every office in our land, and make those changes.
But I would say you can't do it if a leading presidential candidate is pushing the same divisive and fair tactics that we've heard. This push about stop, question, and frisk leads us to the same problems, and it's done in an ignorant way without even knowing the facts. And that won't help us.
And Poppy, he's right. You can't do it when you have the President of the United States who creates a false narrative about all these issues. He's got to stand up for the police when it comes to rioting.
Well, we did hear some coming together there. The Republican governor, Pat McCrory, thanking the president for the call that they had this afternoon. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate having you on. Coming up next, we are just